Welcome in to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Let's get rock hard. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another edition of Rock Hard Ball. We got Karter and Weezy here today. Clyde is not going to be here for today's episode, unfortunately. So back to the old format. Yeah, Clyde, unfortunately, dealing with a flat tire. So he was scheduled to be here, but unfortunately not going to be able to make it. So prayers out to Clyde. He's in a tough situation right now. Flat tire. Huh? He might still be stranded. Not 100% sure. He's trying to put the air in the tire. Keeps just leaking right back out. So not an ideal situation there for our boy Cletus. He's struggling with that right now. But not hopefully, he should be back on Monday. Do the episode on Monday, and then we'll miss the next two after that, Thursday and Monday after that. We'll be on spring break. So can't imagine we'll be doing any episodes unless we decide to go live from South Padre Island. That would be kind of funny. Could out on the balcony, maybe. We'll think about it. We'll be in Margaritaville, so we'll have the drinks flowing. We'll look into that. We'll see. Maybe we could do something like that. But thank you guys all for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the socials. I forgot to put up the little banner here, but they're scrolling across the bottom now at Rock Hard Ball, at Rock Hard Ball Pod on pretty much everything. So make sure you check it out so you can stay up to date with what we get going on with the show. We also even muted the whole time. So there you go. Now you're muted.
Good.
Yeah, should be good now. I don't know why you're muted, but good now. So anyways, but yeah, we'll be down in Texas. So TBD on next week's episodes. Thursday definitely is not going to happen next week. We'll be in the car Thursday night, so that's not going to happen.
Friday night,
maybe. I don't know.
Wait, no. We're leaving Friday night.
Oh yeah.
So Thursday
we will be there.
Should be live.
Yes. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, my apologies. Monday, Thursday will be live. Next Monday is the one in question. We'll see. But yeah, that's the outlook for next few weeks of the show. Peter Polkers in here tonight. Peter got into extracurriculars tonight.
He did.
What's share backstory there? Or I'm confused on what he means by the extracurriculars here.
Which, by the way, I texted Peter Porker. I said, I don't know, but that kind of seems like a nightmare situation. Like 3.5 hours of The Godfather while on shrooms.
Yeah, your mic is just disconnected again, so that's awesome.
Am I good?
I don't know, man. It's just not showing up now, so that's awesome. Oh, it's back.
Hey.
Okay. If that keeps happening, I don't know what we're gonna do about that, but let's hope it stops. But yeah, shout out to Peter. If you want to say that, okay. Technical difficulties. I'm just gonna run the commercial right away. We're gonna see if we can figure out Weezy's mic. Apologies. We'll be back here in a minute.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12-plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
Alrighty, we are back. We think we have Weezy's mic figured out. Hopefully we do. Give a little test.
Test.
Like
Peter, if you're still in here, tell me you can hear me.
I think it's good right now. Hopefully it doesn't continue to do that. Otherwise, this is going to be an awful episode. We might just cut it short. But
I'll try to just not to move.
Yeah, try not to move. I don't know why it's disconnecting. I'm going to try not to move either since I'm holding your connection. But yeah, anyways, let's get into actual football and just sports talk in general. That's what obviously you guys all come here to hear. So NFL finally has some action going on. We'll talk about what's going on over there. So first things first, I think probably the biggest one, that's the oldest one, that definitely warrants discussion, is Deebo Samuel has been traded to the Commanders. Do you remember what it was for?
Fourth.
Fourth or fifth, yeah. So he heads over to the Commanders. He'll be their number 2 behind Terry McLaurin. So Jaden Daniels gets another weapon. So that's big for the Commanders, I think. Obviously, Debo seems like the last year or two hasn't quite been what he was at one point. Looks like early in his career, looked like he would be kind of a bona fide number 1 guy who you could really count on to be that alpha, week in and week out. Now it's kind of fallen off a little bit. He's had some injury troubles, and he's kind of converted more to just kind of a hybrid, like wide receiver, running back role. So we'll see how the Commanders use him with that. You never know. Maybe that was just a Shanahan thing.
Doesn't move me.
I think it's a solid move for the Commanders. Like, if they didn't have a number 1 guy, I wouldn't like it as much because, like I said, I don't think Debo is that. But I think he's serviceable too.
Can we take a deeper look though at the Commanders, like their season? Like I think, like I get it. Like you have a rookie quarterback who is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you played a 4th place schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Took a lot of miracles to get where they did. They beat Detroit. Hand up, yeah. Being a Detroit fan, that sucked. Detroit was playing the practice squad defense that game. Like this might be a little bit of a over.
Yeah, I don't think the Commanders make themselves like legitimate title contenders yet, but I think it's a good step, and I think they get them for decent value, which kind of piggybacking.
A 4th might be over value for Debo in
was it a 4th for sure?
I'm pretty sure it was a 4th. I don't know. Like Debo in the year 2025, I don't think he's worth a 4th round pick.
It is weird that we say that as if he's like super old, but he's really not.
No, but he's injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
Has not had a really great 2 years.
5th round, so that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think the bigger thing for me here with this trade, especially from a Packers fan's perspective, another team that's been making a lot of moves here recently, and we'll get to the bigger one that just happened 20 minutes ago. Seahawks cut Lockett. Yep. He's gone, been there forever. Still an okay serviceable guy, but I mean he was kind of on his last legs. DK has been openly kind of talked about as being a trade target for multiple teams, including the Packers, and then now he has officially as soon as they cut Lockett, it was said DK is
requesting a trade.
They're looking for suitors, whatever. That compensation though is apparently they asked the Packers for one of the young wide receivers they have plus a 1st round pick, which if Debo's going for a 5th, I know DK is still significantly better than Debo, but I don't think he's worth a Jaden Reed or a Octavian Wicks and a 1st round pick. I don't think
it's probably worth Wicks in a 2nd.
Yeah, and I think Packers fans will be okay with that. But that's the thing. Well, I don't know. They're pretty big fans of Wicks. I think they'd rather see Dobbs go. But anyways, the Debo trade market, though, I think kind of sets the stage here a little bit for the DK one now. So now I think the Seahawks are going to have to take a reality check and be like, okay, we're not going to get a guy with in the 1st round pick. If someone does, they're going to overpay because they also said
I think somebody overpays for DK rather than
he also wants to go to contender, and most contenders aren't dumb enough to overpay for something like that.
Yeah,
but you never know. Usually, people that are overpaying is a team that's in desperation mode, looking to make a big move that alters the course of the franchise, whatever. And I just don't think that if you're going to go to legitimate title contenders, that's actually where they're shopping them. I don't think anybody is dumb enough or desperate enough to do that, right?
No, probably not.
So that's kind of my outlook there, which I think is a good thing for the Packers. That is kind of how that worked out. We'll see. I don't know if they're actually going to end up getting him or not. Packers haven't historically been super aggressive with free agents or trades, but I don't know. We'll see. But let's get to the other piece of Seahawks news here. Since we're on the topic, Geno Smith just traded to the Raiders. Like I said, 20, 30 minutes ago. I honestly forgot to look what the compensation was in that.
3rd rounder.
It is 3rd. Okay, yes, you're right. I think it is 3rd. So he goes to the Raiders. He's reunited with Pete Carroll. So obviously Pete Carroll liked what we saw from Geno while he was there in Seattle. So they get their quarterback at least for this year. I would have to assume if you're the Raiders, you still draft one this year. Maybe next year if you are really confident in this class.
And if obviously you just have doubts about this class, which many people do.
Yes.
It's immediate.
Someone's going to end up being okay, if not good, from this class.
Yes.
But yeah, off, front page view, it's no one's super confident about anybody. Last year was Caleb Williams, you think is a bona fide franchise guy. Jaden Daniels knew he was going to come in and be good right away. And, potential to be, very good.
And then Drake May was kind of like the 50-50 guy. And turns out he was very good in the first year with a very bad team.
Yes. But this time around, it's okay, Cam Ward should be like good like the first year. Like he's so experienced at this point where it's like
I think we have a bunch of Drake Mays.
I would put Cam Ward probably closer to like the Jaden Daniels tier in terms of the draft outlook.
I think he's probably scares people more than others, just the way he plays.
Yeah, but I think he's the most pro ready year one, isn't he?
Maybe
Out of the top guys.
I think most like pro ready, you could argue like true pro ready could give you the best numbers. Like the next year would be like, in my opinion, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
He has by far the least amount of peak, I think.
Yep. I think the
Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are one of two for me. Like they have incredibly high upside,
Mhm.
but like scare the shit out of me as a prospect.
Yeah, I would say also I think the one that's gonna shoot up draft boards is Jackson Dart. Like
Yeah, his combine numbers for us are great.
His combine numbers are great. People are already in love with just his kind of moxie, and the talent is there, obviously. But he's another one that obviously like scares people because he had 2 good years, but it's like he never put up gaudy numbers against like good teams, especially like he beat up on a lot of bad teams. But obviously talent's there. So, but he's one I think is work because there's always one that's like all of a sudden everybody in the league circles are like, watch out, watch out, watch out. And then all of a sudden,
Will
it's like,
Levis.
yeah, it's like he was at day 2, and then okay, he's gonna go top 10. It's like just out of the blue. I don't know if he'll go top 10, but first round probably.
If Dart sneaks into the first round, I'd not be surprised.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. Outside of that, though, I mean, do we see more than 3 in the first round?
No.
Yes. Probably not.
No.
I don't think so either. I'm honestly not even sure who is considered to be 4th right now. Is it
Ewers?
Or yeah, probably Ewers. That's another weird one where it's like 2 years ago. It's like, yeah, he'll be first quarterback off the board.
Off the board. Now it's like,
Now
is he going to return for another year?
I think he's definitely into the draft now.
Yes.
I think if Texas didn't have as strong of an option behind him, you could have maybe had a little bit of like a if he doesn't like where he's going to go, he might back out, because I don't know how late they can back out now, but it's pretty late. I don't know if it's past that now.
It has to be.
I would think, but yeah, they definitely lengthened the window for when they can drop out. But yeah, I don't know. Ewers, again, same thing. Talent still there. Now he's had a little bit of injury history though. But he also strikes me as like, I don't know if the upside's quite as there as the first 3.
Yeah, 100%. And then Gabriel will be behind him. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't like last year's draft outside of Caleb. Don't like this one. We'll probably get proved wrong again. I don't know. But so obviously, Vegas is. I like to move for Vegas.
Yeah, get a bridge guy.
You get also like it's such an improvement from last year's.
Oh yeah,
room.
Mess last year.
Seattle's obviously rebuild it. Like, does Seattle then maybe trade up and take a fucking
See,
quarterback?
yeah, that's where I'm questioning. I don't know where the hell Seattle plans to go,
Or
because
do you sign like a Jimmy G and
Jimmy G, Darnold.
I don't think they'd overpay for Darnold. With
Because
the way they're
especially
looking
because,
like
like,
they're going to go
Geno-
full rebuild.
because Gino's literally Darnold. I feel like
Yes,
it's just later into the Darnold's
and
arc.
going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
than-
So that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if they go Darnold, but yeah, maybe a Jimmy G. I don't know. The quarterback. This makes the quarterback market pretty interesting, because at first it was kind of like it seems like there's not enough spots for guys that are going everywhere. Now all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know if there's enough guys to fill them, and it seems weird to say that with just one more team entering the ring, but for some reason it feels like that, because we have Jets, Steelers, Seahawks. Vegas kind of trades place with Seattle, but like at the same time, Vegas had a top pick, and we were just assuming they'd take a quarterback. Giants. So there's 5 right away that are very
New
viable.
Orleans.
Orleans, yes, they apparently aren't happy with Derek Carr. Minnesota, you still don't know for sure what they're going to do. Are they going to bring back Darnold? Are they going to roll out JJ next year? Quarterback carousel got a whole lot more interesting from this one move, it seems like. But I'm curious to see where it goes. We'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, definitely adds more intrigue in terms of maybe a team trading up too, I think. So specifically Seattle, I think, could be an option, because like you said, rebuild is there. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. Other moves, Chicago
Built their line a little bit.
Mhm.
Good moves. Off-season champs once again. In all honesty, like they were good moves.
Yeah, they were.
Thuney's a huge get. I don't mind Jonah Jackson, but again, anything to improve. Like that team is, again, the North is so good, but that makes them legitimate. I think could fight for.
Yeah, if Caleb has time, they'll be much, much better. Tooney in particular, like you said, I think is a huge one. Not only because is he a good offensive lineman and a borderline all-pro when he's playing in his position. He probably is still an all-pro in his position. Obviously, got kicked up to tackle, and the Chiefs struggled a little bit at times there. But bringing the guy who's won 5 Super Bowls, I think,
Yeah, something like that.
like just a proven winner. a veteran guy who still, is playing at a high level can be big for a locker room, especially like the one with the Bears, who has been just, ravaged by losing and young guys now filling in a couple spots. So I think that's a big culture get too as well for the locker room. So that's a good move for the Bears. And then, like you said, Jonah Jackson's good enough, better than what they had. So
Yes.
Good moves, yeah.
What else?
There are other ones.
Chargers cut Joey Bosa.
That is that is a big one. Joey Bosa.
I like that move a lot. I mean,
I think it's smart by the Chargers.
Yeah,
for sure.
He wasn't what he was.
They saved 25 million,
25.
Yeah, which is a ridiculous amount of money. But he's still like a solid player, though.
He's fine.
He's gonna be a good addition for somebody because they're gonna get him on a cheap deal now.
Yep.
He
was barely healthy, and even when he was out there, he was not.
You think
Joey Bosa 3 or 4 years ago?
Is he like 100% go to San Francisco or?
Probably, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of San Francisco, this popped in my mind again. I'm seeing rumors fly now that they might trade Brock Purdy and like bring in Rodgers and Devontae and like just go all in on winning the Super Bowl like this year and maybe.
To be fair, I like that more than paying Brock Purdy an absurd amount of money.
Yeah, I don't want to pay Brock Purdy, but it is weird how that just came out of nowhere because that I feel like I saw no one talk about that for a long time.
About how stupid the Jets would be for that too.
Just letting those two walk.
No, like maybe it's like a
Rodgers like still on a contract. Devontae got
released.
One can walk. One of them can walk, can't they? I thought one of them isn't on a contract. Or did I make that up?
Oh, Devontae got released.
Okay, yeah. So he can.
I think Rodgers still technically under.
Yeah, okay. That's why.
I'm saying, how funny would it be for the Jets to do like a sign and trade for Brock Purdy, give him a stupid amount of money when it's like the whole world kind of knows Brock Purdy is not worth what he is probably evaluated at.
Yeah.
And also, I don't hate like they weren't good. Obviously, injuries were a problem. They're old. Why not just fucking buy into it?
Yeah, they are definitely getting up there in age, which feels weird because they felt super young not that long ago. But when you think about it, it's like 2019 was 6 years ago.
Yeah,
which makes me feel old. But I would be very hurt though. I will say if we get Rodgers and Devontae in San Francisco and then they like make a run at the Super Bowl, that would just be the worst.
I don't think they would.
Team that had our numbers.
They're still not better than Philly.
I don't think so, but you never know.
Yeah,
I think we're still overblowing. Like him as a person adds a lot that you don't want, obviously, but I still think that it's been blown out of proportion. Aaron Rodgers is like level last year. Like he was still a pretty good quarterback last year.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad.
He was fine
by any means. So it's like whoever signs him, like they're going to get a solid year, I think, out of him. It's not going to be elite, not going to be MVP level, but it's going to be, he'll probably be borderline top 12.
Speaking of another guy, because now that I'm thinking about it, because I was thinking now you get him off of like a full year of like healthy. The fuck happens to Kirk Cousins?
I think at this point
they never cut him.
No,
right?
they haven't. So, and I'm pretty sure they have to pay him either way. The way his contract's set up is they had to pay him either way, or they had to pay him a significant amount of the contract. So I think at this point you have to just keep him as a backup, and like just let it ride. That way, if Penix struggles a little bit, you have some
expensive backup.
Yeah, very. But at the same time, it's like expensive backup that you could count on if your young guy struggles, or just cut him and then you have nothing. So
yeah,
it depends on if you. I think the way you have to look at it is: would you pay like a solid backup quarterback like $10 million a year, whatever it is, that they could sell him or cut him for, or is that $10 million worth more? That's probably what it comes down to. Is the Falcons front office, but I'm not going to lie. I know we already want to figure out the mic issue here, but we're going to hit another quick commercial because I have to take a piss so bad, and I don't really feel like just cutting out in the middle of nothing. So we're going to break. Hopefully I can make it back in time. Otherwise, Weez, you're going to have to solo it for like 30 seconds. But yeah, we'll go to a quick break. You listen to Rock Our Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at Culture Ball Dogs, and we'll be right back.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12-plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
And welcome back. Solo show. Waiting on Carter still. Hey, Carter. Carter. You want to go to basketball?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk hoops. Are you just going to cut in front of the camera? Okay, he's going to walk around. The biggest thing to open up here. What do you say? Talk Dallas, Mavs. All right. So the Mavericks are a dead organization. Flat out fucked. Prayers out to Kyrie Irving. No joking. No.
Gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know. Nope. Let's see here. We'll get it figured out here. I don't know why. Might need to get a new dongle or something here for this because it's just constantly giving us issues. But okay, there we go. All right, your mic's back. So
All right. Mavs talk. Mavs are dead. They're over. Prayers out to Kyrie Irving. This has got to be one of the worst moments. It's like a fan base, right?
I think you could argue outside of like, I mean, when you put into comparison how passionate like of a fan base the Mavericks have too, like, because like I was gonna say, I think this is about the worst you could get for a year outside of like maybe like when like the Bobcats won like whatever 9 games, or like when Philly won like 13,
Or like when Detroit lost 30 straight last year.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, Philly. I guess Philly has a good fan base, but those teams knew like they were horrible, were in rebuilds, stuff like that. But I mean, yeah,
They're coming off of finals.
this is
appearance.
arguably, I think, yeah, the worst season that we've seen like from a team like in NBA history, maybe. Like that might be extreme, but
Coming
still.
off of a finals experience. You signed Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Which most NBA fans were like, all right, Klay Thompson.
Shelv's former self, but
Shelf is,
still a
but
solid player.
you know, could help us out.
Yeah.
Like Derek Lively looks great this year. Got your pieces. Then your GM is fat shaming your best player, your generation, your franchise guy,
Mhm.
your next Dirk, trades him for Anthony Davis, who everybody in hindsight said, okay, that might make you better this year. I think most fans said still doesn't. You got worse. Immediately, first game, the injury-prone Anthony Davis fucks up his groin. He's going to be out at least a month or two. Fine, okay, we're fine. Lakers look good, but we'll be okay. And then Kyrie Irving tears his ACL. I mean,
Yep, not ideal by any means. Derek Lively also has gotten hurt within there. That was before the Luka trade, right?
Yeah.
So that also happened. I kind of forgot his name, but they had another guy too, who's like one of the younger players, who's like a solid guy, that also got hurt. Again, don't remember who it was, but
like, what's like the highlight? Like Max Christie looks okay.
yeah, no, yeah. And Max Christie looks
like when you
okay.
give him minutes, like he looks pretty good.
At this point, you got to just root for like maybe AD comes back, you get into the playoffs, and like maybe you know.
I think their record is low enough where now it's full tankathon. Like I'm pretty like they were hovering around 500.
They're still plus 500,
but by how far?
a game? They're currently sitting in the 10th spot. So
In draft status or no, in
in
playoffs?
playoffs.
Tank.
So, like,
It's
they're in
I
the
think
play-in.
I
They're
think
in the
if you're
play-in,
I think if you're a Mavs fan,
as it stands.
you go full tankathon.
Yeah, you probably would rather do that, honestly. I guess if you are looking for success this year, like I said, maybe AD comes back. Vintage AD like is good enough to be like the best player on like
And
a
maybe
good team.
Clay, you
They
know,
somehow like pull out like a round 1 playoff win. Like that's like your Super Bowl. Yeah, I guess that would be fun. But like, no, I think you sit AD for the rest of the year. Make sure he gets healthy, stays healthy. Kyrie rehabs, and then maybe you make a run at it. Like, but I mean, even like looking forward, it's Kyrie towards ACL. It's like that means he probably isn't back until close to this time next year.
Yeah.
So it's like, can Anthony Davis stay healthy enough carrying that workload with an even older Klay Thompson?
it's a bad
like,
spot.
I don't know.
They are in one of the worst spots.
They also don't control their first round draft picks for like the next 3 years.
And while this is happening, the Lakers are playing great ball.
Yeah, the Lakers could also hit on that too. They are all the way up to the 2 seed now in the Western Conference. I think most people will say they've been the best team in the conference since probably
outside of the Thunder, who
a couple games after the trade. Yeah, I mean they're on a longer winning streak right now. Both have the same record in their last 10. I mean, obviously Thunder are very, very good, but Lakers, have been ridiculous so far. And
LeBron's still 30. Like, I don't know how he does it. Yeah, obviously everybody saw the photo. Like this year is just as good as like his 2013
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, I will say one caveat to that is in 2013 he was a top 3 defender. Now he is probably not a top 3 defender, but
no, it is huge.
But yeah, he is
still ridiculous the offensive production that guy's able to produce. What else NBA wise? I mean, the Pistons are like shockingly really good. Like not even like they were hovering on 500 all year. Everybody's like, look at these Pistons. Now they're just like actually like good, beating the shit out of teams.
Yeah. Because we could just be like an NBA roundup. Just kind of talk about what we've seen lately. Cavaliers are back to being very, very good again in the regular season. Do you consider them yet to be legitimate like threats to
Boston?
Down the Celtics in a 7-game series?
Yeah,
I would think so too.
Again, I'm gonna bounce back and say I think Detroit could shock people this playoff round.
What do you mean by shock? Like how far of a run do you think they could make?
I think they could potentially make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay. I don't
given the draw, I don't think they could beat Boston. I think they could force a lot of games out of Cleveland.
Okay.
Just the way that they've played the last 10, like it's a different team.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of teams that have played much better lately. Especially I mean, both sides of the NBA. Cavs obviously on a 12-game winning streak. Celtics are still Celtics. I think the one team towards the top of the East is the Knicks. Have had their struggles a little bit. Seems to not really still be figuring out fully how to deal with this newer lineup that they have. Obviously, it's been a while now since they've had this, but it hasn't perfectly meshed yet for them. The Bucks have looked better as of late.
I'm gonna count them out.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna win the title, but I mean they've looked better.
Yeah,
they did.
They just don't provide me hope and upside like some teams do in the East.
I still get a little bit of hope and upside out of the Bucks in the fact that they still have
two best
players in the NBA plus Damian Lillard, who on any given night can be like a top 10 player still. Just you're not going to get out of every night. So if Damian gets hot in the playoffs, I wouldn't be shocked.
That's why I'm counting him out though.
But
because you can look at other teams and say like baseline Luka and Bron, for example, like I know like I could beat almost any team.
Yeah.
When they're off, they're off. But like even if they're having mediocre games, they're fine. It's like I feel like we need to see just the perfect Giannis for this team to like truly compete with Boston, and I don't see it happening.
Okay, fair enough. Indiana doesn't move the needle for me. I'm just kind of running down the standings here. Indiana doesn't really move the needle for me. Never really have. We already kind of hit on Detroit. Miami's obviously faltering ever since the Jimmy Butler trade. That's kind of it for the East. I mean, everybody else is not real threats. In the West, we already talked about Thunder are obviously a juggernaut. They're just like Cleveland. They just keep winning games. They're going to be good no matter what. Lakers, we talked about them. Nuggets, I don't know what we do with them at this point. It's like I'm not going to count Jokic like he's the best player in the world right now. But at the same time, it's like literally 2 years ago, we had Jamal Murray, who was also bona fide top 20 player in the NBA.
We thought that was going to be a potential dynasty.
Yeah, like those two ridiculous.
Team in
Jr. was a great three, and now it's like Jamal Murray sucks at basketball.
And a lot of teams in the West are better, and they never did.
Yes, so I don't know what their outlook is going forward. Memphis, they can stay healthy, but
I'm out. They'll never be able to stay healthy.
Doesn't seem like it. Houston's fun. They kind of remind me a little bit of like Detroit in the East.
They're probably a little bit ahead of Detroit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's similar. Like,
don't think they're probably serious.
They could maybe go on a run. Yet,
like
could maybe go on a run. But I also think the West is more middle heavy than the East, which is why I think the Pistons have a better chance to go on that run.
Yep. And then speaking of middle heavy and a team that's on fire, Golden State, right there with the Lakers.
Still going to count them out.
The biggest thing with them is, I mean, you can make the same argument with LeBron, but it's like it feels more relevant with Curry based on the injury history and stuff like that. It's like, how long can he keep it going? Can he continue to have this offensive production that we saw from him 10 years ago? I don't think he can uphold I don't think his body holds up for that long. And then also it's like on the flip side of that, it's like, who's your number two? Oh, like he's 34 too. So it's like on the LeBron side of things, yeah, if LeBron's age shows a little bit, it's like, oh, don't worry, like we have the fourth best player in the world that will probably just pick everything up. But with Golden State, it's like, yeah, Jimmy can still be a top 15, top 20-ish.
And then outside of Jimmy,
then it's nothing.
Well,
It's
I
was really fun.
I hate the hype up because I'm going to do it too, because I think obviously he's a Laker and the media hypes him up too much. But like, if I truly do need to go to a third guy on the Lakers, like I trust Reeves more than I trust anyone. And I think Reeves gets sucked off a little bit too much,
100%
by the media, which is fair. Reeves is
still, and by white boys worldwide.
Yes, and by the white community, he's still a very solid option, especially if he's your third option on a team. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Outside of that, the one other team, obviously, that's worth. I mean, well, I guess there's kind of two. It's like I don't know.
We're going to count Sacramento because I'm
no. I was going to say that the other two that like you never really know. Again, they have talent there. Minnesota obviously is still there. Like you have Anthony Edwards, but same thing. It's like
count them out.
They
broke my rule.
What's your rule?
If you have Julius Randle, you cannot win.
Oh, okay. Good point. That's a good rule.
There's two guys in that rule, him and DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
Which is why I also said Sacramento or the Bulls of the West. They're out. They're just play styles that don't fit modern NBA. And if they're your first or second option, you cannot win an NBA championship.
Yeah.
And the Wolves have Julius Randle, so therefore they cannot do shit.
Final one that could maybe be intriguing depending on what they get from a health standpoint is the Clippers. What do we think? Like, assuming that
if they all turn back the clock and stay healthy, like that could be a scary team. It's just
they're still good. I think
it's not gonna happen.
The duo they're still good. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard are still very good players. I don't even think it's like so much a turn back the clock. It's literally just don't die.
Yeah,
like just stay healthy. Like I don't think they need to turn it back in terms of like skill. Like I think they're both still very skilled, both very good players. But
we probably left out a big mention here too. The Philly, because Philly's in a bad spot.
Oh,
because Joel Embiid.
Well, we were talking about like teams.
Yes, I know, but now because I was thinking, but like I thought we should have probably hit on this.
The disaster
of because Joel Embiid.
His career might be over.
I saw tweets that this injury is bad.
Yeah,
I heard it's Lonzo Ball.
Yep. And so Lonzo was like 24 too.
Lonzo was 24. He missed 2 years. He was the first one to ever get the surgery. Lonzo's also 6'6", like 180.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot better chance of coming back than the 7'1", 270-pound guy.
Yeah.
This could be bad. So trust the process. He might be. They're in a bad spot.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do going forward. Seems like just disaster central, like we kind of said.
Prospect to get the first overall pick.
Yeah, I don't even know.
And then like,
do they own their pick for sure? Do we know that?
I don't know.
That's the thing I hate about the NBA.
Because that would be such a cheap out though. If they found a way, because then it's like, we have Tyrese Maxey and Cooper Flag. All right.
Yeah.
There's our core.
Yeah, and then you could probably get some team to bite on like an Embiid trade, be like, hey,
how
good he was?
You could still get something for him.
Yeah.
He's too good to where like a team would be like, well, if he does come back healthy, we're getting arguably the best center in the league outside of Joker.
Mm-hmm. Shit, what was I gonna say? I don't know. Philly's a disaster though. I guess speaking of kind of tying in this to our next topic, maybe moving towards college basketball, I'm assuming kind of hit most of it in the NBA.
We'll just hit Big Ten.
One last note on the NBA. Yes, we kind of forgot to mention talking about the Knicks kind of faltering too. Brunson's out 2 weeks, which is also brutal for them. They're probably going to drop in the standings a little bit, make for a tougher first round matchup. Potentially could end up not having the series at home, the first one. Pretty unlikely. They would have to drop 4.5 games behind Indiana for that to happen for them to actually have to go on the road. But potentially, you never know. Anyways, let's move to college basketball really quick. Want to hit on it. Obviously, it's been a talking point lately. I don't think there's any chance that hell it actually happens. But do you think there's a legitimate realm, a possibility out there that Cooper Flag comes back next year?
Are you asking me if I think so?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. That's what I thought, but you never know. I mean,
it's every year with every single time everybody's gonna be like the NIL though. Now it's like it still does not compete with a first round with the first overall signing bonus.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I think it's like $36 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Sorry, he's not making that NIL.
No, he's not. But that's basically what
and there are maybe some upsides. Like what team wins the lottery? There's only one team I think if they win the lottery, the Wizards. Yeah, because you could argue like Charlotte. It's like, well, actually,
Yeah, no,
we have
that's the one
two
that I really
great
actually don't
players.
understand at all. When people are like, if the Wizards or Charlotte win the lottery, like he's coming back. It's like you understand that Charlotte has like 2 really good young players,
Yeah.
arguably 3, like depending on Mark Williams' health. It's like they have 2 or 3 like good young players.
Yeah.
Like LaMelo is like a borderline superstar. Like he's very, very good. I don't know why we're acting like that would be such a horrible
No.
landing. If they got Cooper Flag, I think they immediately become like at least like a low tier playoff team.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so I don't know what the big complaint is there.
No,
Anyway,
Wizards are one again. Still, he's
yeah, he'll go no matter what.
yes.
But yeah, let's talk a little bit college basketball. We're getting very, very cool. It is March, so that is a real thing that's happening. It's March, so we're very, very close to the NCAA tournament. Most teams have maybe 1 or 2 regular season games left, if that even. We've already got some of the mid-majors starting their conference tournaments, and then we're fully into the conference tournament season. So like you said, we'll talk Big Ten mostly because that's where our teams are. Speaking of our teams, just falling apart, shitting the bed all over the place. Nebraska and Michigan both haven't looked great. I haven't not 100% sure how bad Michigan's been. I haven't really.
They've had a tough schedule,
paid
but
close attention.
they have
Nebraska has
not been playing well.
Yeah. I'll just hit on Nebraska, I guess, since I kind of already started it. But lost 4 in a row now at this point. Their last one was against a Northwestern team who's also just not good. So after that, they went on the road to Penn State, got embarrassed. That was a horrible loss. That's what started it. Not a good start. Michigan and Nebraska played maybe the worst college basketball game of the season in Lincoln. Final score 49-46 that Michigan won. Then they ended up losing to Minnesota, who, once again, not a good team. Another bad loss for Nebraska by 2 at home. And then they looked good for the first time in like a month against Ohio State. Still weren't able to pull it out, though. Horrible officiating that one, by the way. Not going to blame it all on that. They should have won it. They were up 2 possessions in overtime. Should be able to take care of business at that point. They were up 2 possessions with a minute and a half left in overtime, something like that. But yeah, ended up losing in double OT based on a couple of horrible calls. Anyways, now they're to a point where they have Iowa on Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Absolutely have to win that game. That's still not going to be enough. I think at this point, Nebraska has to win that game, has to win their first game of the Big Ten tournament. Then I would like to think that they probably can, depending on how many bid stealers there are in the mid majors and stuff like that. Yep. But I don't know. They're literally before like after Northwestern win, like Nebraska had like a 95% chance to make the tournament. And then they lost 4 in a row. So not great. Bryce Williams is fucking awesome though.
Yeah, Bryce Williams is awesome. Yes.
He scores the ball at a high rate. But yeah, I really hope they can get together. Like at this point, do they deserve to make the NCAA tournament? Like no, like they shouldn't. Honestly, probably they have not looked good lately. But I still like their chances to win a Big Ten tournament game. Again, if Bryce Williams plays at the level that he just it's like Ohio State. They can get some production from a couple other guys. They're still a viable team. And I think they would compete in the first round of the tournament, maybe get the first one ever. But the other thing I saw too was the most Nebraska thing of all time would be make the tournament, but as a play-in team, had to play in the first 4, and they get their first tournament win as like an asterisk, like still want a real one. That'd suck.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, at this point, I'll take anything I can get. So I don't know how much you want to speak on Michigan, but
no, they've just kind of been falling apart. They lost to Michigan State that we talked about 2 weeks ago. Survived against Nebraska again, like you mentioned, awful game. Survive on a buzzer beater against a bad Rutgers team. I get that they have 2 studs on that team. Rutgers is not good. Then you get your absolute ass kicked at home on senior night to Illinois. I get Illinois is good, and they've been struggling, but still. And then you lose at home to Maryland, which I find Maryland's good, but it's just the same problem over and over again. You turn the ball over 28 times, you're not going to win. So now you go to Michigan State, who already won the Big Ten this Sunday. I think Michigan needs to win this game.
Just for a confidence standpoint, or yeah,
I don't think you can be going into that tournament. And I'm talking Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
Obviously, I think their seed plummeted. They're probably going to be a 5 now. Probably stay a 4 if they beat Michigan State, or depending how they do in the tournament. But call it a 5 now. But if you go 3 straight losses to the end of the year, especially to your rival, who then obviously get swept on the year, and then kind of like a shorter exit in the tournament, I'm going to count them out.
Okay. Other thing, one more note on Nebraska too. Obviously, it's a must-win either way, but it's there's obviously always the hope where it's just get into the, well, this is the first year that's had this, but it's like as long as you get into the Big Ten tournament, like you at least have the hope of like going on a run and convincing the committee. The other thing with Nebraska in this Iowa game is like, not only do you need the win for your resume to begin with, if they lose this game, they're not going to be in the Big Ten tournament, and then they don't have a chance to even improve it from there. So if they lose on Sunday, like the season actually is like 100% over. It's done. Like they might get an NIT invite, I guess, but like
Crown.
What?
It's a new NIT. It's
They changed it.
It's a Crown Invitational in Vegas.
Did not know that. Yeah,
I think the NIT is still a thing, but I think the upper class teams now go to the Crown.
Oh, really?
And it's like invite. It's just they play in Vegas. I don't know how many teams are involved. I don't think it's a lot.
Kind of sucks.
I think it's like the
NIT could be kind of cool sometimes. It's in Madison Square Garden. Finals are kind of cool sometimes.
The finals are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing that'd be cool about like the NIT or something like that, I don't know.
Watching Michigan like play Vanderbilt like 2 years ago, like it's at Vanderbilt. It's just at their.
I was gonna say the only thing that'd be cool about that would be
that
like is if you get a home game in it. I guess like, oh, let's go out to PBA one more time. But it's like that's about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it's tournament or bust, always is. So yeah, Nebraska must win on Sunday. Outside of that, I mean, I don't know if there any other major storylines in college basketball we want to talk about. We already talked about Michigan State.
Not really. I mean,
Auburn lost for the first time in a long time, I guess.
So, I mean, we can just plan out the show going forward. Because obviously right now it's kind of yapping.
Yeah.
It's a Friday night, going to be a short night.
I don't think we have much more to talk about. So then do we want to go Monday? We'll have like a full
college tournament preview.
right. When are college tournaments?
Like those are
The Big Ten starts next week. The Big Ten tournament starts next week.
on like Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? So Monday we'll go full Power 4, Power 5 conference tournament preview on Monday, and then Thursday. Fuck. I think we're gonna kind of have to go live in South Padre
Yeah.
to do like a full preview.
Like Selection Sunday will be while we're there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably should do an episode that Monday when we're down there.
Or Tuesday or
the
Wednesday,
field. Yeah,
as long as
whatever.
for the games.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be drinking, fucked up on a balcony, just being like, all right, March.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably will do that. It's not a bad idea. We'll lug the equipment down there, get her going. But
by that we just need 2 computers and 2 mics.
Yeah. Well, maybe our camera.
And maybe our camera.
Prop it up on the balcony, railing. But yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. All right. That's probably going to do it then, I guess, for today. We thought about maybe doing the Rockers take. Didn't really come up with one. Plus, we get a lot more content out of that episode than I thought we would. So we'll just leave it there with you. We'll be back on Monday. Like we said, hopefully we'll be looking at 2 good wins from Nebraska and Michigan. Probably not, but
Probably
hopefully. Keep the tournament dreams alive. But thank you guys all for tuning in. I know the Friday's kind of weird. Weren't able to do it yesterday. I guess we never really mentioned that in the intro. But we thank you guys for joining us now. But we will see you guys all on Monday.